In the Grenadines, people depend heavily on the marine environment for earning their livelihoods, whether it is for fishing, tourism, recreation, or other activities. And because of this, there are often conflicts between users as the demand for the marine environment increases. People in various fields share their concerns on some of the issues they are faced with.
The government put this big restriction on the parks, put a lot of strain on the fishermen.
For bait for fishing, there's lots of bait there and we are not allowed to go and catch any bait or remove anything from the Tobago Keys, which I find is not right.
A couple of weeks ago I picked up a whole buoy into my jets and I had to limp into Union and dive in and take it out. It's really, really dangerous.
There's a lot of the complaints that come into our office is that the visitors will see local boats, local fishing boats within the MPA, and they'll write a letter or they'll call us and they'll say, this is not allowed. How come the local fishermen are allowed to do this in the MPA?
Because of some of these issues, it's clear that there is an urgent need for a process to guide sustainable uses of the marine environment, one that provides for diverse uses while ensuring the protection and restoration of our fish stocks, coral reefs, beaches, and other valuable resources. As a result, Sustainable Grenadines, known as SusGren, a non-governmental organization which works throughout the Grenadines, decided to develop a marine zoning plan for the Grenadine islands of Grenada and St. Vincent, which can help the people of these islands manage their resources in a sustainable way.
If you have more than one activity happening in a particular area, you have a lot of fishing, yachting, tourism, all of that could be conflict, or it could cause conflict among users. And what a marine use plan tends to do is to tell you which human activity is best for a particular area. So in that design, we come up with what is called a marine use zoning design for the Grenadines.
However, in identifying these zones, more than 5 years of research work was done. This was incorporated with various data and local knowledge through community meetings and workshops in the last 2 years to find out what the people of the Grenadines would like to see as their priority.
What we've done is we've developed, as a group, we first set out a vision. What do people want to see? And the time frame we use is over the next 50 years, what would you like to see? And this included, healthy fisheries. People said they wanted to see increase in tourism income and revenue. They said they wanted to see conservation of the marine environment. They said they wanted to maintain transportation.
The fishes now, they get smaller. Like the bigger ones gone and the smaller ones growing now. But what really happened, in order for those fishes to come back, you got to leave the place a while to, leave some of the grounds where the fishes get to grow and fish somewhere else for a couple of months.
What we have here is an opportunity in the Grenadines. If we manage that resource, that we could able to sustain it. We will be able to have just these basic sea products day in, day out for the next generation to come.
Some of the times the tourists come in, especially the ones on their yachts, and they try to spear fish or remove things from within the MPA, and they're not really sure what the rules and regulations are. And I think just with having the zoning, it'll be pretty clear cut what's allowed and what's not.
We need to separate the fishing from the boat, the ferry traffic especially, because the fish pots, they should have a zone where the ships pass and you don't have to worry about running into fish pots, because it's not good for us. Get into our propellers, get into the jets, and it causes a lot of problems. And then again, the fishermen lose the pots too, so it's not good for none of us.
The grounds are overfished a little bit. and protecting the reefs and around Karaku. It's a good thing, so the fish population comes back, etc., etc., and therefore the sport diving, what we do as scuba divers, showing the underwater world to the people and taking pictures or whatsoever, they benefit from it.
I think the project is a good idea to identify areas because we don't want to get involved in conflicts with other marine users. I can put on a place where the boats are anchoring or where somebody has net setting or do the operation completely where other fishermen are involved in other activities, hauling up the boats and so on. We need a different space altogether for that. It takes some space, and space has to be allocated for that.
However, for all these to work, there must be proper policies and regulations in place by governments to ensure its success. Sandra Nichols of the Environment Law Institute says, although there exist laws, integrating them still seems to be a problem.
Both Grenada and St. Vincent have already committed on an international level to several international environmental and regional environmental agreements that commit them to doing some of the aspects of marine zoning or marine spatial planning. The coordination, the biodiversity conservation, management based on the ecosystem. They've already made these commitments. In addition, many of the domestic laws already touch on elements of this. Both countries have marine protected areas, which are an important aspect of marine zoning. They have fisheries regulations. There's a host of provisions in place that individually kind of work towards the goals of marine spatial planning, but they need to be integrated together.
The need for both governments to agree on a plan is very critical in ensuring its success.
It is basically a transboundary arrangement, and while the NGOs and the people on grassroots people can probably sit down and make these plans and may well see the global picture of what is necessary, the politicians, the ministries of foreign affairs of both countries and the prime ministers need to sit down and work out that transboundary arrangement.
A draft design of what the people of the Grenadines would like to see was developed, which represents a comprehensive marine zoning design that allocates a use across marine space in an integrated fashion by including ecological, economic, and social considerations. Meanwhile, people are hopeful and are looking forward to the success of the plan, which they believe is a positive step for the people of the Grenadines and for future generations.
For me personally, Zone of the Grenadines is a really good concept. The Grenadines, the islands are used for so many different uses, and if we can have one particular area for a specific use and so on, that probably help in maybe in the long run avoid future conflicts and so on and so forth, and then give people a clear idea what they should do, where they should go and so on.
The approach that was taken by the project coordinators was very good in terms of its participatory nature, the fact that they involve stakeholders from the ground level and really developed a relationship with those people and got them to basically develop their confidence to speak clearly about what it is they wanted to see for their communities and within their sector.
And I see the project as a means of getting countries in collaboration with one another, in getting fishermen in collaboration with one another, and all stakeholders coming together to not only manage the space but use it in a way that benefits everybody.
The resources we have are not unlimited, so it's essential that we more or less try to guarantee that what we have is used in the best way possible for the longest time possible, and I think that is what this project is all about.